Fraud concerns in Minnesota continue to be a focus of members of Congress. Independent and federal investigations estimate potential waste and fraud in the child care services programs total between $9 billion and up to $20 billion. The White House described fraud in Minnesota as, quote, pervasive and disturbing. Last month, the Trump administration announced that it would pause nearly $260 million in federal Medicaid payments owed to Minnesota. Minnesota has since filed for a temporary restraining order. But the issues of fraud continue to be that focus. During a House Oversight Committee hearing just this morning, Kentucky U.S. Representative James Comer said much more oversight is needed in Minnesota.
Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison were warned repeatedly. Auditors raised red flags. Employees sounded alarms. Invoices didn't make sense. And still, the money kept flowing. While state officials hesitated, billions of taxpayer dollars were stolen from programs meant to serve children, the disabled, and families in crisis. While whistleblowers were silenced, fraudsters got rich. Accountability shouldn't begin only after federal prosecutors step in and clean up the damage. Accountability should compel leaders to act, and here they did not.
While Republicans putting that laser focus on fraud in Minnesota and possibly other states as well, Democrats looking to redirect attention. California Congressman Robert Garcia, he said that there are overarching concerns about immigration enforcement.
Our committee and Democrats have documented over 590 cases of suspected misconduct by President Trump and Kristi Noem's immigration and enforcement agents across the country, not just in Minnesota. There's been 240 incidents of violence or concerning use of force, and 181 have involved United States citizens.
Now, Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota was one of several witnesses today during that House Oversight Committee hearing. He says the state of Minnesota is addressing concerns around fraud, and they will continue to combat that.
We'll continue to do the important work of combating fraud, but as we do so, we're going to remain true to Minnesota principles. We will feed our hungry children. We will help the poor afford health care. We will assist people with disabilities while also keeping fraud in check. We'll demonstrate our decency, our integrity, and never yield to political scapegoating, particularly of our most vulnerable communities. In these extraordinarily trying times, the people of Minnesota have come together to show the world their values.
Now, Minnesota announced Tuesday, with some headlines you'll see at thecentersquare.com, that it's suing the federal government for withholding $243 million in Medicaid payments. State officials say that move puts health care coverage for more than 1 million residents at risk, while the White House is looking to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse. Meanwhile, in a letter Attorney General Pam Bondi received from Republican legislators, they're requesting an investigation into any possible organized efforts to obstruct law enforcement from foreign influence and criminal activities, including fraud. And you remember that protest against ICE that spilled into a church in Minnesota? Well, dozens have now been indicted on federal charges related to the disruption of the January 8th church service in St. Paul. Bondi announcing another round of arrests following the release of an indictment charging 30 additional people. Those charges include conspiracy against the rights of religious freedom and injury, intimidation, and interference over that exercise of religious freedom.